wing with Trottier 19 and Harris 15. This is Robinson to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur gets around Hart. The shot, and he hit the side of the net. Guy Lafleur with a brilliant move, and the net is knocked off its stanchion, and play is called. And Guy Lafleur in.
Louis Harris on right wing. Tim?
Jacques Lemaire has come out at center now, replacing Jarvis. As expected, he's with his normal line mates now. Lafleur and Schutt. On defense for the Islanders, Dave Lewis with Dennis Potvin now. Lewis 25, Dennis Potvin number 5. The pass up for Parise. Parise for Trottier. Trottier away from Lemaire. Trottier over the line trying to get around Guy Lapointe. Can't do it, and the puck taken by Savard, who hands it right to Dave Lewis. Lewis the shot, cut by Dryden, and he holds on. With Brian Trottier looking for a rebound that never came, and they'll face it off in Montreal territory. The minor officials tonight, excuse me, as we look at Al Arbor, the minor officials tonight are from Boston, and in keeping with the Stanley Cup tradition of having outside officials handle those duties during the playoff games.
The word on Ken Dryden, if you can beat anybody this good, Ken Dryden, an outstanding goaltender who this year, Tim, finished with an incredible goals against average of 2.14, the Vezina Trophy winners, that you got to beat them low to the glove side. But you got to do it quickly. You take the long shots and Dryden will stop you. Graduate of Cornell University and a very, very interesting man.
Hugh Drouin, number 17. Ed Westfall, number 18. Clark Gillies, number 9 for the New York Islanders. Jimmy Roberts, Bob Gainey, and Doug Jarvis for Montreal. Canadiens win the draw. Gainey is number 23 for Chartrand. Bad pass. Gillies is there, but Chartrand takes it away. Ahead for Jimmy Roberts. Roberts with 3 goals against the Islanders in this series. This is Robinson following in the loose puck around. Potvin just got a piece of it, forcing the puck to the corner. Robinson trying to hit Roberts with a pass, but Gillies picks that off, and Dave Lewis to Gillies. Gillies stick handling out of his own zone. The right wing pass for Westfall, too far, and it goes behind the Canadiens' goal. Icing will be called against a Drouin the face-off to the left of Glenn Chico Rush, and the Canadiens win it, but Drouin gets in there to knock it over the blue line, and Guy Lapointe fires it back into New York territory. Jerry Hart in the middle, intended for Westfall off the skate. Drouin and Westfall arriving in the middle at the same time. Gainey stepped into Drouin, but Drouin takes the puck away. Drouin with Gillies now, shooting it into the corner. Gillies after it. Dryden out of the goal. Shoots it up the boards. Westfall intercepts to Gillies for Drouin just behind him, and Gainey takes it away from Montreal. Gainey trying to get around Jerry Hart on the backhand. Throws it across, nobody home. Roberts off the side boards. Throws it behind the Islander net. Hart and Gainey there together, and it's held for a face-off in the Islander zone. The Canadiens are leading this series 3-1. They won the first 2 games at home. Gained a
of his career. It's the only way the Islanders realistically can look to beat the Canadiens when they have people like Guy Lapointe, Serge Savard, Larry Robinson, any one of whom is discussed when you talk about the Norris Trophy. Dennis had a super game back in the Nassau Coliseum on Tuesday. That was the one game the Islanders won in this series 5-3.
Andre Saint-Laurent comes out against Doug Risebrough now. Saint-Laurent number 21, Risebrough number 8, Yvon Lambert number 11, and Mario Tremblay number 14 on the wings with Risebrough for Montreal in white. Gary Howitt number 8, Bob Nystrom number 23 for the Islanders on the wings with Saint-Laurent. Here is Tremblay, shot it wide. And again, the Islanders being forechecked. This is what happened in the game at Nassau Coliseum Saturday night, with the Canadiens really putting the heat on with good forechecking, and the Islanders having difficulty moving it out. That's the case again early here tonight. Marshall intended for Nystrom, and that pass goes awry. Icing will be called against Saint-Laurent against Risebrough, facing off to the right of Glenn Rush. New York wins the draw. Dennis Potvin behind his own net to Lewis. Lewis in the middle to Saint-Laurent. Saint-Laurent to Howitt. Gary Howitt, number 8. Return pass is blocked by the stick of Risebrough. Howitt knocks it over the line as Saint-Laurent was knocked down. Robinson to Lambert. Lambert ahead for Risebrough, too far, and Lewis is back for it for New York. For Dennis Potvin. Potvin flips it to center ice, and Mario Tremblay is back for Montreal. We are scoreless here. Tim Ryan with George Michael, bringing you Stanley Cup action. Steal by Nystrom. Here's Saint-Laurent. Nystrom return pass. He missed it. Has it off the boards for Saint-Laurent. That just missed. And the Islanders, with a great chance there, fail to capitalize. Risebrow back, and offside is called against Montreal. Mario Tremblay astride ahead of the puck carrier. George, that was as good an opportunity as they've had in a couple of games.
Feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong, Tim, but I would say that's the kind of play that you would not see Bob Nystrom normally make. When Bob Nystrom comes in on that right wing, he knows where he's going with the puck. He makes the good feeds. As you look at Tom Johnson of the Boston Bruins here, along with Harry Sinden taking their notes, it's the kind of play that Nystrom has made in the playoffs. That, in other words, he's forcing his play. He's thinking of things too much. He might have gone ahead and taken the shot instead of the give back to Saint Laurent.
Lemaire, Schutt, and Lafleur back out now against Lorne Henning, Jean Potvin, Bill McMillan. The first time we've seen the fourth line for the Islanders. The second turn out there for the Lemaire unit. Al Arbor has tried to keep this checking line on against the Lemaire unit. And, of course, tonight Scotty Bowman has the last change, and so he can juggle it well. Now Parise, Harris, and Trottier come on with a face-off here on the rim of the circle to the right of Glenn Resch. Wins it to Savard, number 18, to Guy Lapointe, number 5. The shot, leg save, rebound cleared by Trottier to Harris. Return for Trottier too far, and it's picked off by Guy Lapointe. He shoots it right to Marshall. Marshall waits for Harris to get onside and dumps it into the Montreal zone. Guy Lapointe back for it. Ahead for Lemaire. He couldn't hold the pass. Marshall quickly to Harris. Harris with Trottier breaking, didn't see him. Still has it now. His pass misses Trottier. Off the backboards, Guy Lapointe. Lapointe ahead for Guy Lafleur. Lafleur out the middle for Lemaire. Lemaire stopped momentarily by Hart. Now gives it to Savard. Savard over the line is poke checked by Hart. Savard keeps going, feeds Lemaire, and Marshall broke that pass up. Lafleur brings it in. Marshall breaks it up again as Lafleur tried to get it to Schutt. And two key plays by Bert Marshall with that Lemaire, Schutt, Lafleur unit buzzing around in front of the Islanders.
Let's see him on Tuesday night. Tim, the rookie, is on for the face-off for the Canadiens.
Number 28 is Mike Polich from the University of Minnesota, up for the injured Réjean Houle. Harris shoots it in. Off the backboard, Dryden gloves it with Parise coming in and holds on. Polich played only one shift in his first game up, but got quite a bit of action in the 4-0 win on Saturday night and played very effectively. He's a scrappy guy, George, real good skater, checks and fits into the Montreal style.
5'7", he's a hard worker. He's not much of a goal scorer. If you check his record, he's never been one of the 50-60 goal scorers that you hear about, but he's a hard-working guy. He's very serious about his hockey. 5'7", 170, is a hard-working kid that comes out of Hibbing, Minnesota.
Henning against Polich on the face-off. On the wings with Polich are Wilson and Mahavlich. Peter Mahavlich playing on the left wing. Wilson on the right side. Chartrand, number 27, the Montreal defenseman, to Robinson. Robinson to Mahavlich, checked by Dennis Potvin, but he gets it over the blue line. McMillan has to get the Islanders onside and then shoots it in and can't quite do it. And it remains offside. The Canadiens still without Bill Nair out with bruised ribs and rib cartilage problems. And Pierre Bouchard, they thought might get back tonight, but he's not back from a shoulder injury yet. And, of course, Réjean Houle injured earlier in the series with a shoulder separation.
And Yvon Cornway, whom we had on our first game of the series, who was out with a back operation. He hopes to be back next year. He does intend to come back and play again.
Bob Bourne skated in the warm-up tonight for the Islanders, but his shoulder still not quite ready for him to play. Henning shoots it in. And Robinson is back for it. Up the boards for Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich, number 20, 6 feet 4 inches tall. His pass picked off by McMillan. Good play by Lewis to McMillan, who shoots it in, takes a bump from Chartrand. And the pace is not anywhere near what we have seen in the first 4 games of this series. And it's finally taken away by Mahavlich as the Islanders cough it up in the Montreal zone. Lewis back there cuts off Murray Wilson. Icing will be called against Montreal. George, you have the feeling here that both teams know the importance of what we were talking about, that first goal. They seem to be very cautious. Everybody playing to prevent the mistake and try and make the right play to get that first all-important goal.
The Canadiens can well afford to do that. The Islanders cannot. Trailing 3 games to 1, they've got to take it to the Canadiens. Saturday night, Tim, the first 8.5 minutes against the Canadiens just came out roaring. I had anticipated the Islanders might do that tonight. They have not, and I would think that they would like to play the body a lot more than they have in the first couple minutes.
Marshall from the face-off pass from Drouin, and squeezing it is Ken Dryden, who almost squeezed a little late. Ken, I know, was not too pleased with where that puck wound up. It was literally lodged between the pads and nearly got through, and Marshall doesn't exactly blaze him from there. Drouin again against Jarvis, and again he controls. Marshall once more off the board for Westfall. It jumped over his stick. Drouin, Westfall, and Clark Gillies a line for the Islanders as Al Arbor shuffles them up here in this last-ditch bid to stay alive in the semifinals. Westfall, the shot, and that just went wide. Gillies over there to keep it in, fans on it, and Roberts has it. Jimmy Roberts, nemesis to the Islanders in this series, ahead to Jarvis offside. 14:06 to play first period. George?
37-year-old Jim Roberts, as you look at the Islanders captain, Clark Gillies, who is looking for his first goal against the Canadiens this playoff. Roberts has been just incredible. I think every member of the Canadian organization is just as happy as can be for Jimmy. 3 goals, 3 games. Former teammate of Coach Al Arbor when they were in St. Louis together.
Jarvis wins that draw, but it went back all the way to the Montreal goal, and Serge Savard organizes the attack there. Roberts skipped into the middle. Jarvis couldn't get it to him, checked by Gillies. Drouin turns and fires it in off the side boards. After it is Gillies. Gillies trying to get away from Roberts and poked the puck too far. Now scrapping with Roberts. Roberts gets it and fires it out. Marshall at center ice for New York. Off the boards, Drouin whacks at it. It comes to the Montreal line. Savard ahead for Gainey too far. A foot race with Hart and Roberts, and Hart gets it to Bert Marshall, number 6. The veteran defenseman of Westfall. Fanned on his pass. The puck is still there, and Westfall gets it again. Westfall, the Gillies didn't see it coming, and the play has been sloppy here on the part of both teams. Hart breaks up the pass from Savard. That was a bad one. Savard will try again. Checked by Howitt. Gets it to Tremblay. Jumped over his stick and goes out of play near the Montreal bench.
Looking for his first playoff goal. Had a super year for himself, but the playoffs have been nothing more than a nightmare to Bob Nystrom.
Saint Laurent wins the face-off to Lewis. Lewis to Dennis Potvin. Ahead for Nystrom. Nystrom number 23 for Saint Laurent. Gets it right back again, but offside is called against the New York Islanders at the Montreal line. The NHL Network will televise every game of the Stanley Cup Championship final round at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, whenever that series begins. Check your newspapers or the station you're watching tonight. Regardless of what round we're in, however, there will be an NHL Network game this coming Saturday night, May 7th, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Boston Bruins awaiting the winner of this series, and what an impressive performance by the Bruins in that final game against Philadelphia. Shutout victory, and they just swarmed all over the Flyers in that game, and except for great goaltending by Wayne Stevenson, that score could have been higher there, George. And of course Jerry Cheevers brilliant in the nets for Boston.
What a wasted effort. That fourth game Sunday night. Wayne Stevenson, I just thought, was just sensational, especially in the first period. He made saves that you just can't ask a goaltender to make, but he was the only one I thought in the first period for the Flyers that really was on his game.
Howard has the puck as the Islanders control the draw. He's checked by Lambert. Dennis Potvin cross ice to Lewis. Lewis, his pass is broken up by Chartrand sliding into it, and Tremblay's pass intercepted by Howard. Now Tremblay takes it away from Howard. Tremblay over the line. Still going. Try to center. What goes off the leg. Jumps away. Here's Nystrom racing for it. Nystrom with Chartrand coming over. He takes him into the boards. The puck goes to the corner. And a penalty coming up against Chartrand. Holding the call as he just got a little bit of a grip on Nystrom after he put the body into him. With a break in the action, the
The strong defenseman from Caracas, Venezuela, to the penalty box as he takes Bob Nystrom into the board. Bob Myers was behind the play, saw Chartrand get in front of him, and then he puts the hold on him right there. We'll give the Islanders their first power play opportunity of the night. Thus far in the series, they've had 9 power play chances. They've scored on 2 of 9.
I didn't know they played hockey in Caracas.
I didn't know that either.
It must have been a one-man league.
He played in Kitchener, but he grew up in Caracas. How about that?
Pat Price ahead for Trottier, and Parise goes back to Pat Price, number 3, who's on the blue line with Dennis Potvin on the power play. Al Arbor stays with Parise on the Trottier line for the power play. First penalty of the game going to Montreal, and we have 1:38 left in it as Dennis Potvin now goes over to Price.
Watch the booze on Price.
Price dropping it back for Parise. He's checked by Gainey. In the corner, Billy Harris digs it out. Harris for Price in front. Parise score! J.P. Parise.
goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs. He had a super year during the regular season. He's continued to play well in the playoffs ever since the first game against the Canadiens. The feed couldn't have been better. Parise perfectly stationed. Watch it from another angle. Now watch the defenseman for the Canadiens, to the right of your screen, Lapointe. He'll finally make his commitment. When he makes the commitment, the play goes into motion. To Harris, to Parise, a goal, a textbook goal. The defenseman made his commitment. The Islanders capitalized. It's a 1-0 hockey game as Chico Resch covers up.
Resch juggled that high flip shot and gets up a little disgusted looking, as you can tell, as much as you can tell through the mask. That's the way he handled that, but he got it under control. 8:11 the time of the goal. Price and Harris, and interesting that John Potvin was not out there. Price was in his spot. Price wound up making the play. He was in deep on the power play, and perfect pass from Harris and the perfect feed from Price out to Parise. 1-0.
Playoff goal for G.
The New York Islanders lead it and will face it off again to the right of Glenn Resch. And I suspect now that the game will open up a little bit more. Now that they've got one on the board, the two teams seem to be playing very cautiously up to this point. Billy Harris. Harris intended for Trottier, too far. Guy Lapointe takes over. Lapointe for Steve Shutt. Shutt backhands it off the skate of Marshall, and Harris is bumped by Jacques Lemaire. Trottier leaves it for Harris. Harris takes the shot. Stick save. Rebound cleared by Savard. Savard played that absolutely perfectly. He was watching the goal mouth to see where the puck came. Lapointe too far for Steve Shutt. And it'll be an icing call against the Montreal Canadiens, bringing play back into the Montreal zone.
We credit goaltenders not only with shaves. We try to take a look at their tough shots, the tough saves they've had. We'd have to call that one the first really tough save of the night. It was low to the glove side. Ken Dryden made the good save. And about the New York Islanders.
Well, this was totally different from all of the four previous games. The first three games were quite similar. The fourth game was just Montreal dominated, and this one neither team's played very well so far. Lafleur can't get started, and Hart ties him up, and the stick came up and caught Howard, and the loose puck in front. Lemaire scores! Jacques Lemaire ties it at one. He was down on his knees, and a bouncing puck came to him, and he just flicked it backhanded behind Chico Resch, and the Canadiens have it right back.
Jacques Lemaire, the man who has never been named first-team All-Star, gets the first goal of the game, a consistent 30-goal score. The feed from Shutt to Lemaire. Lemaire puts it in right there on the backhand. He put it right under the pad of Chico Resch. Let's go upstairs and show it to you from another angle. That's where it started with Lemaire and Hart. Shutt, the perfect feed for Lemaire, and how many times Lemaire has fed Shutt on his 60-goal campaign. So turnabout is there as the left winger feeds the center, and the Jacques Lemaire ties the hockey game 1-1, 10:52 of the first period.
That's Lemaire's third playoff goal this year, and we're tied at 1. Shutt and Chartrand get the assist as play comes into the Islander zone again. Dennis Potvin, number 5, behind his own net. Into the middle for Lorne Henning. Henning, McMillan, and Jean Potvin up front. Loose puck taken away by Lambert, and Dave Lewis fires it right back into the Montreal zone for the Canadiens. Risebrow, Lambert, and Mario Tremblay. Here's Risebrow getting behind Dennis Potvin. Risebrow shoots, and a leg save by Chico Resch, and the rebound cleared by Potvin, brought in offside by Chartrand. Lemaire tying it from Shutt and Chartrand, 9:08, and Risebrow with a great opportunity to send Montreal in front, beaten by Glenn Resch.
Young Doug Risebrow across the blue line. It comes in on Resch. Chico Resch way out of the net to cut down the angle with Dave Lewis hot on Risebrow's heels. Resch makes his first tough save of the night, and that evens the goaltenders up. Glenn Chico Resch has finished second to Ken Dryden in goals against average this year. Ken Dryden finished at 2.41, Chico Resch at 2.48.
Islanders are in a position of having that happen to them a little more often tonight. Potvin got caught up ice, and he's got to be up ice to become that fourth forward here with the Islanders in a must-win situation tonight. He's got to add some offense, and that means he's got to gamble, and that was a sample there, and Risebrow nearly made him pay the price for it. Dennis Potvin to Lewis to Henning. Henning stick handling against checking from Lambert. Now just shoots it into the Montreal zone. Larry Robinson, number 19, back for it. Robinson and Chartrand, the defense pair for Montreal. This is Tremblay. Tremblay, number 14, shoots it in off the corner boards. Marshall is there. Bert Marshall up the middle, picked off by Shutt. Shutt brings it in. One-hand pass, Lafleur. Lafleur shoots it high and wide. He tried to hang it up on the short side, missed it. Puck cleared out by Jean Potvin. Backboard is Guy Lapointe, and icing will be called against the New York Islanders. Islanders win this faceoff. Marshall to Hart. Return pass. Marshall knocked out to center ice and backing up Savard to get people onside. Shoots it right to Jerry Hart. Hart to Westfall. Westfall against Savard, and the Islanders keep it in. Jude Drouin. Lapointe up the boards for Steve Shutt. Shutt gives it to Peter Mahavlich. Mahavlich circles the center ice, and there'll be a penalty here to the Islanders. Mahavlich's shot deflects way up into the end zone seats. Stanley Cup souvenir country. 8:50 remaining.
Clark Gillies of the Islanders looking to get the stick off the puck from Peter Mahavlich. Ends up slashing him right there. Bob Myers saw it, called it right there. The slash will give the Canadiens their first power play opportunity of the night. The Canadiens in power plays in this series, Tim, have been surprisingly weak. They've had but 1 of 14. They've had 14 opportunities and have converted but 1.
Islanders win this faceoff, and Hart sets the Canadiens back already on this power play chance. We're down to 150. Jacques Lemaire gives it to Lafleur, and Lafleur with Lemaire, Lambert, Mahavlich, and Guy Lapointe. The power play for the Canadiens. Lapointe comes over the line, try to get it through to Lambert. He's too well covered by Marshall. Mahavlich throws it into the slot. Westfall intercepts and shoots it down the ice. Dryden comes well out to start the play to Jacques Lemaire. Lemaire ahead, intended for Lafleur, intercepted by Henning. Henning goes back to Marshall. The Islanders with lots of ice to work with. Now Marshall shoots it over the Montreal line. Lemaire to Lapointe. 1:17 left in the penalty. Lapointe shoots it in, and Resch leaves it for Marshall, who shoots it off the boards down the ice.
Scotty Bowman behind the Montreal bench yelling at a couple of guys, one of whom was Mahavlich, who wasn't doing what he called for, and off the ice goes Mahavlich.
Guy Lapointe. Shutt has come on up front, and Robinson has come on the back line. Robinson with it now, rink wide, intended for Lemaire. Off the boards, the race for it. Lafleur jumps in ahead of everybody. Lafleur is forced to the corner by Resch. Dennis Potvin against checking from Lafleur, and it comes to Henning. Henning with Westfall, a point back, and Henning can't get the puck up to him, and Robinson takes it away. Henning, one-handed, was unable to get the puck ahead of Westfall. They would have been 2-on-1. 33 seconds left in the penalty. Lapointe shoots it in for Montreal. It's taken on the boards by Steve Shutt. Shutt from Robinson, and Dennis Potvin doing the checking. Flips to the far corner. Lemaire is there for Montreal. To Guy Lafleur at the blue line. Checked by Henning. The puck comes out to center ice. And Lafleur goes down over the stick of Henning, but no call is made. 12 seconds left in the penalty. It was simply a case of Lafleur falling back over the stick. Resch caught that, and Lewis gets it out over the blue line, and 4 seconds remain. So again, the Canadiens fail to score with the extra man. Gainey to Savard. The Canadiens now playing at 6-a-side with the Islanders, as back on is Clark Gillies, and the puck right across to Gillies through the crease, who races down the right side. Henning ahead of him. Good back checking by Jacques Lemaire, takes it away. Dennis Potvin passing to Henning, who cannot get onside, and the whistle blows with 6:33 remaining, and the Islanders getting out.
Steve, watching the action. And there we did not credit Tim. Very Lilly did not credit him a shot on goal. It's Bert Marshall, the veteran defenseman of the Islanders. The only time that Chico touched the puck was of his own volition, so they were not credited with a shot on goal in a power play. How long since you've seen that with the Canadiens?
Does not occur very often. They just don't look, all that sharp here tonight. The one goal they got was kind of a sloppy effort. Good hustle by Shutt, but it was coughed up by the Islanders in their end. Rather a bad defensive play than a good offensive play. Nystrom shooting it in, and it's taken off the backboards by Chartres on the pass from Ken Dryden, the goaltender. Here's Howard in the corner. Howard with Chartres on pursuit. Howard still with it, trying to get it to Saint Laurent. Can't do it as he's tied up by Wilson. Saint Laurent knocks Chartres down, then hits him again as Chartres coughs it up to the blue line. Marshall shoots it in off the stick of Howard. Larry Robinson gives it to Chartres. Chartres overskates the puck, and Wilson takes over for Montreal. He lost it. Now it's Robinson trying. Robinson into the Islander zone. He lost control of the puck. Still has it and shoots it into the corner. Mahavlich being checked by Nystrom. It's still loose. Polic has it. Polic, number 28, the rookie up from the Nova Scotia Voyagers, gives it to Mahavlich, and the slot fakes the shot. still has the puck. The shot, stick save by Resch. Through the traffic, Mahavlich shot it right at the stick of goaltender Resch. Saint-Laurent, stick handling over the Montreal line, is checked from behind by Mahavlich. And the puck taken by Dryden to Robinson. Robinson to Murray Wilson. Islanders change their defense on the fly. Wilson down the right side. Lewis waiting. Lewis takes him into the boards heavily. And the puck taken by Trottier. Trottier spins away from Polish. Brian Trottier, number 19, to Lewis. Rink wide for Nystrom. Nystrom at center ice. Shoots it into the Montreal zone, and the Islanders change the rest of that line. Parise comes on the left wing. Harris, number 15, on the right. Bob Gainey, number 23 for Montreal. For Roberts. Roberts against Potvin. The shot high and wide. And it deflects all the way to Billy Harris. Harris to Trottier. Trottier leaves it for Dennis Potvin. Potvin's play opens up ahead to Trottier, and he can't control. Roberts flips it out to center ice. Billy Harris is there for the Islanders. Cross ice to Dave Lewis. Lewis to Dennis Potvin. Potvin tried to go over to Parise, but it's blocked by Guy Lapointe. Lapointe, number 5 for Montreal, to Jarvis, and he tried to flip it off the glass. Instead, it went out of play. 4:29 remaining first period. A break in the action with the score. The Islanders won the...
Superstar defenseman Lapointe with 25 goals and 51 assists this year for a total of 76 points.
Islanders keep that draw inside the Montreal line. Savard cannot get out. Here's Parise. He's checked. Here's Trottier in front, broken up by Lapointe. Parise again to Trottier behind the net. Harris in front, just missed. Lewis to Dennis Potvin off the skates of Jarvis. And Guy Lapointe finally just flips it out of there as the Islanders had some pressure but were unable to make a play on goal. Dennis Potvin, a Lewis who lost his balance but got the pass to Harris. Harris with some ice, backhand pass all the way for Parise, and it deflects off his stick out of play.
Have you noticed how Harris, but nonetheless, there is a game to be played tonight, and I'm sure that Scotty Bowman spent a lot of time impressing that upon the players. I know he didn't watch the Boston-Philadelphia game Sunday.
There is a game to be played, but it hasn't gotten through to the players so far. We've had only 10 shots on goal. It has not been a terribly exciting Stanley Cup game, and just, you know, not typical of what you normally see. Gillies really gave Lafleur a whack, and he'll get a penalty for that. His second slashing penalty, it shot in, and Lafleur rubbing his arm where Gillies...
Clark Gillies goes after Guy Lafleur, again trying to knock the stick away from the puck. Indeed, was caught slashing, and for the second time this game is in the penalty box for the same penalty, that is slashing. The Canadiens did not get a shot on goal the first time. Let's see how they do their second time.
That was your basic two-hander. There couldn't be any question about that. He
no doubt about it.
Right up on the forearm, above the forearm, above the elbow. The Canadiens control. Lafleur to the blue line. This is Robinson. Robinson, the shot caught by Resch, and he holds on with Schutt and Jarvis right there, and Hart and Jarvis get the elbows up at each other.
Well, Jerry Hart has to welcome Jarvis around. He's been battling people like Larry Robinson, 6'3". Hart has to look up at him. I guarantee you he doesn't say sir before he moves him out of the crease, but Jarvis in the crease, he'll welcome that because that's more his size. But the idea is to gain the crease. You got to win the games in the pits, be it the corners or in the crease. And anytime you're on a power play, you've got to own that crease, be you the defense or the offense.
Jarvis out there for the face-off, their best face-off man on the Canadiens team. He's on with Schutt and Lafleur, Robinson and Lapointe on this power play, and the Canadiens keep it in. Robinson in the corner, Jarvis. Jarvis for Schutt. Schutt trying to skip through in front. The shot, big save by Resch on Robinson, alone in front. Good pass from Schutt. And Resch robbed Larry Robinson. At the blue line, Marshall takes it away from Steve Schutt, gets it to Westfall, and he shoots it in. We have 1:28 left in the penalty.
People that are really in this hockey game is Steve Schutt. Some terrific checks, a couple of great passes.
A steal by Henning near the Montreal line, and he comes back to Dennis Potvin. Potvin lost it in escape. Here's Lambert, and it's offside. Fortunately for Dennis Potvin, his Islander teammates, offside at the line as Potvin lost the puck in his skates.
Have you ever had a nightmare where you were trying to get away from the bad guys but you couldn't run? Dennis Potvin was having a real-life nightmare, standing on the blue line. The puck there, he knows it's there. He's turning, he can't find it. He sees two Canadiens, but for Lafleur coming in offside, they would have had a breakaway. Go back a little bit earlier, if we might, to show you the great pass from Schutt and a super save by Chico Resch. When we talk about tough saves, that is a tough save. Second of the night for Resch. We've credited Ken Dryden with one.
1:14 left in the penalty. Mahavlich brings it into the Islander zone against checking from Henning and Lewis. Henning checked by Lafleur now. Now Lewis, after the puck, shoots it past Lambert. Lapointe hustles over, throws it in, saved by Resch with a screen from Lambert. Resch picked that out. And it's cleared behind the goal to the far corner. Potvin skate caught on the net. Lafleur the shot. Potvin still tangled up. Resch another big save on Lemaire. And Potvin cannot get out of the net. Finally does. And the Canadiens fail to capitalize with him out of the play. Potvin finally gets back in front. The loose puck. And they dive on it. Lewis and Resch and Peter Mahavlich in a pile-up, and play is called.
I described before, Dennis. The shot on goal.
Lemaire right here.
Goes right there. Good opportunity, I thought, Tim, for Peter Mahavlich to put it in as Al Arbour looks on from the Islander bench, and we're going to have a temporary delay while they work on the webbing of the net as Potvin.
Saturday, May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That could be potentially a 7th game in this series. The Islanders must win here, of course. They're down 3-1, and if they win here tonight, they'll force Game 6 Thursday night at the Nassau Coliseum. Westfall against Jarvis on this face-off to the left of Chico Resch. 37 seconds left in the penalty, and somebody in the circle. That draws a whistle as Lafleur and Hart come together, and Hart giving Lafleur some comments.
A good look at Bobby Bourne, injured New York Islander with a shoulder separation suffered in Game 1 of this series against the Canadiens, and must be a great deal of frustration for Bourne, who was going so well to be out.
He wanted to play tonight. He said that he was ready to play. Told Coach Al Arbour, put me in, but he just wasn't really physically fit. Puck shot in by the Canadiens, icing call, and how often do you see that? 23 seconds left in the penalty, and that's got to have Scotty Bowman starting a heavier pace behind the Montreal bench. The mighty Canadiens power play coughing up an icing with the extra man. Lorne Henning, the Islanders' penalty killer, Premier with Eddie Westfall up front. 23 seconds left in the face-off down to the Montreal end. Kind of a bonus here for the penalty killers. Westfall, Henning, Marshall, and Jerry Hart. Robinson behind the goal to Savard. Savard brings it up for Montreal. Ahead to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur has shut with him along the blue line. Shot had to put the brakes on. Lafleur still has it. Down to the blue line, Robinson. Robinson, the shot in the glove, saved by Resch and a dandy. With Serge Savard, number 18, right there in front of him. And a good shot from Larry Robinson, who was robbed earlier by Glenn Resch in this same period. Let's see it again. Here's Lafleur. Takes it along the boards. Hart waiting. He puts the brakes on. Now comes with a good pass to Robinson. And Resch digs that out with a glove hand. Low bullet headed to the far side. It is 1-1. Tim Ryan and George Michael with Stanley Cup action here on Channel 9 in New York and along the NHL Stanley Cup Network. Jarvis after that face-off with Westfall, but Dennis Potvin has it. He hands it right to Roberts of Montreal, who goes to the blue line. Back on is Gillies. The shot tipped wide. Harris, the line that started the game against Jarvis, Gainey, and Roberts for the Montreal Canadiens. Behind the goal is Savard. The Canadiens winning that draw. They won 22 against 13 for New York in the first period, and that is a negative statistic for the Islanders in that first period. Savard brings it over the Islander line and now shoots it off the corner boards. Resch out to hold it up for Hart. Hart around for Parise. Parise in the middle for Trottier. Had to go back for it. Throws it into the corner, and it's Gainey there in front, just broken up. Lapointe the shot. Big save. Resch on Roberts. Loose puck. Gainey with it. Gainey to the blue line. Savard a shot. That deflects wide. Roberts again right through the crease all the way to Harris. And Harris trying to slow things up here and get a face-out, but he can't do it. He's got to keep it alive. Goes to Parise. Lapointe gambles down the boards. Jarvis takes a shot, broken up by Hart. Hart against Lapointe. Lapointe in deep trying to center it. It hits the leg of Hart. Lapointe again. In the far corner, watched by Marshall, gives it to Roberts. Roberts has had two great chances here tonight. Centering pass for Jarvis. He couldn't handle it. It comes all the way across, and it's batted down the ice by Parise. And it goes wide of the goal, and icing will be called against the New York Islanders, who had to take that icing, George, just to get the...
Probably as well as any team can do. They'll try to pen them in and try to get that quick goal.
Drouin against Lemaire, and the Islanders win this face-off. Dave Lewis with shot on his tail. They head to Westfall. Good play by Lewis out of his own end, but the pass picked off by Lafleur. Then he hands it right back to the Islanders. Potvin breaks in. Dennis Potvin stopped by Lemaire. Robinson tried to feed it to Shutt. It comes back off his skates, and Lemaire starts Lafleur in the right wing. The shot, stick save by Resch, as Lafleur really cracked it off for that very quick release. Westfall can't get by Robinson. Gillies steps in to Shutt and shoots it in, and then Shutt knocks Gillies down. In the Montreal zone, it's Guy Lafleur. Behind his own goal is Chartrand. Shutt and Gillies collide again in front of the Montreal net. Robinson brings it up. Robinson for Lemaire, steering it into the Islander zone. Resch holds it up for Dennis Potvin, around for Gillies. Chartrand gambles in deep, and Gillies tries to start Westfall away. On the right wing, Westfall shoots it in. Dryden out of the net holds it for Robinson. Robinson against checking from Drouin, goes to Chartrand. Rick Chartrand, number 27, checked by Gillies, and the puck taken by Lewis. Lewis walks in. Lewis still with it. Lewis in on goal. He shoots. Score! And no goal is ruled. No goal is signaled by Bob Myers. And let's see what the reason is. Whether it came up and was knocked in by Lewis with his hand or arm. George, what do you think?
His right hand, Tim. He came in, it went off of his right glove. Bob Myers had a perfect look at it. Is going to the scoring bench to wave off. It'll be your left hand. I'm sorry. The hit, the puck comes up. You see it right there. You see the I'm saying the right hand. I should be saying the. That is correct. I want to say it. Is that
right from the left? Don't
no,
you?
it was his right hand. But it was how we watch it on the monitor.
Let's see it again. He made a real good play here. He saw the opening. See, Robinson let him go in, so he went in. He took the shot. It comes up
right there,
and there it is. As it hit his arm, and whether or not, the question in Al Arbor's mind as he's storming here is, did he direct it in or not? If it flipped up and caught him on part of his body and went in off him, then the goal should stand.
Tim,
if the referee rules that he directed it into the net, as Bob Myers did, then the goal cannot stand.
Well, he didn't direct it. There's no question, at least in the replay, it did not appear that he directed it. I'm sure we'll see it again.
It does not count. That's the bottom line. Here, a steal by the forward Lambert from the goaltender Resch, and the Canadiens nearly got a quick one back. Risebrow stopped at the line, and Marshall, his pass intended for Howard, is broken up by Lapointe, and Tremblay shoots it in. Resch out for Hart. Hart up the boards for Nystrom. Nystrom in the middle, a bad pass intended for Saint Laurent. And Lapointe to Savard. Savard all the way across. It comes to Tremblay. He shoots it in off the stick of Howitt. Hart gives it to Andre Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent to Nystrom. Nystrom on the right wing side. Takes the shot, and it's knocked down by Dryden and nearly dropped in behind him. But it came out through the crease on the far side, and it's Guy Lapointe. As Tremblay lost his helmet. And Guy Lapointe out for Risebrow. Risebrow, 3-on-1. Lambert, Tremblay, and Risebrow. The shot. Kicked out, rebound, the pass, score. Mario Tremblay from Doug Risebrow. Risebrow made a real good play, knowing Tremblay was open with Resch already having stopped. Risebrow steers it to Tremblay on the rebound, and Tremblay had the whole net there to just tip it in. So it is 2-1 Montreal. They've scored 2 straight goals to take the lead here, and the Islanders no doubt still thinking about the one that didn't count.
That his first goal and his first point in these playoffs, Tim. Risebrow, Lambert, Tremblay, the checking line, did the job effectively to give him a 2-1 lead.
Well, there again, the Islanders having to gamble with their defensemen, got caught with one up, and they had a 3-on-1 situation. And Montreal is not often going to miss in that circumstance. 16:20 remaining, second period, a break in the action. Montreal 2, the Islanders 1. Mike Polish. Bouncing puck, Dryden clears it away to the sideboards. Robinson goes back to Chartrand. Chartrand around for Mahavlich. Jean Potvin ties him up. Dennis Potvin backhands it in. Larry Robinson knocks it to center ice. 2-1 Montreal. The puck eludes Murray Wilson, and Dennis Potvin has it. Potvin for Jean Potvin. Mahavlich steals, but it's offside. Polish in ahead of the puck carrier.
Back the other end, Tim, Larry Robinson gave you a demonstration of why he is so strong. With his right hand, he pushed Billy McMillan away. Let's go back and take another look, if we might. Mahovlich, the break.
This is the goal again.
The goal.
Yeah. There's the
first shot from Lambert out to Risebrow. Risebrow, the perfect feed to Tremblay. Tremblay without the helmet. Goes into his Tremblay dance with the helmet back on. First point, first goal.
Islanders win the draw again here, and at their own blue line, it's Lewis ahead, intended for McMillan too far. Chartrand shoots it over the Islander line. Dennis Potvin back for it. Potvin for McMillan too far. Jumped over his stick, and Chartrand comes back near the Montreal goal. Chartrand fires it off the glass down into the Islander zone, and this will be an icing call against Montreal. Help from the Canadian directors talking to his announcers, but it looked like Red Kelly, the Leaf coach.
Jimmy Roberts back on the ice. Roberts, you see, come right across the center of your screen, and Roberts, of course, has really been quite a hero here. 3 goals the first 3 games of this series as Brian Trottier faces off with Doug Jarvis.
From the face-off, Montreal wins it. Savard to Gainey. Gainey out the left side. Met at the blue line by Dennis Potvin. He just let the puck go in, and Dave Lewis is there. He's got a checker on him. Goes out to Trottier. Trottier for Parise. Parise over center ice, shoots it in. Ken Dryden holds it up there, and it's Trottier against Savard, and Parise pries it loose. He's checked from behind by Jarvis. Savard steps into Trottier. Parise can't get it in his skates, and Savard to Roberts check. Here's Harris. Harris throws it back into the slot. Jarvis got a piece of it. Lewis, the shot, deflects high over the glass and out of play.
That was probably, Tim, as good a demonstration of what you've been talking about as anything. The Canadians had 4 fellas out in front of the net, 3 of whom touched it, none of whom could control it. That one that didn't count.
Trottier against Jarvis on the face-off, and Roberts can't get it out. Hart's shot is blocked by Roberts. Hart has it again. The pass intended for Parise behind him. Into deep goes Trottier behind the net. He has it. The shot saved by Dryden on a sharp angle drive from Harris. Harris breaks up the play. It's loose in front, and Gainey takes it behind the net. Gainey trying to get away from Harris. Gainey and Harris, and Trottier steps into Gainey, and Lapointe takes over. Lapointe ahead for Doug Jarvis. Jarvis number 21 for Roberts too far. Off the backboards in the Islander zone, and an icing call against the
record-breaking line is on, Tim. 150 goals between these 3 fellas for the Canadians. Lafleur, Shutt, and Lemaire, and here goes Lafleur.
That's 56 worth right there as Lafleur shoots it in, and off the backboards, Marshall takes over. The Canadians have not been impressive. They lead, but they have not played anywhere near their caliber of play. Gillies dumps it to the corner. Dryden comes out of there against Drouin, gets back now. Drouin around being chased by Lemaire. The shot by Westfall just wide. Westfall gets his own rebound off the backboards. It's tied up by Savard. Controls to Hart. Hart the shot, and it's off the heel of his stick and just dribbled by Gillies, who didn't see it. Shutt tried to send Lafleur in, and that missed. Hart against Lafleur. Gets it up to Marshall, and there's a penalty coming up. It's going to be to Guy Lafleur, and that's a rarity in the forum. Drouin to Gillies offside, and Guy Lafleur will get a penalty.
Guy Lafleur, the Flower, picks up his first penalty minutes after 8 playoff games. This is 9th in this series. Those will be the first 2 penalty minutes he has picked up. And referee Bob Myers could never run for any political office here in the province of Quebec. Whoops, Lafleur with the butt end. Whoops. I'm sorry, Guy. That was a little too flagrant. 2 minutes to the penalty box for Guy Lafleur. The New York Islanders with their second power play opportunity of the night. They've been 3 of 10 thus far, and they're 1 of 1 tonight, Tim.
J.P. Parise scored at 8:11 of the first period to give the Islanders a short-lived lead. Trottier, Parise, Harris. The centermen are being chased by linesman Leon Stickle. It'll be Harris against Roberts on the face-off.
Scotty Bowman has given Pat Price some kind of verbal attack out there. I mean, he is really on him. Now, you know, that's psychological warfare.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure Scotty thinks he's a nice guy. He's just a little annoyed that Uhl left with a separated shoulder after a check by Price, which was not a dirty check, by the way. It was just an ordinary body check, and he landed on his shoulder. Harris shot it in off the stick of Savard. Guy Lapointe. And Harris failed to keep it in. Trottier comes back for it. 1:45 left in the penalty to Lafleur. Roberts got a piece of that pass, but Parise has it. He's forced deep by Lemaire. Right wing pass for Harris. Harris to Dennis Potvin. Off the boards for Trottier. Poke check by Lapointe. Dennis Potvin off the boards for Billy Harris. Harris in the corner to Parise. Parise in front. The shot right through the crease. Dennis Potvin shoots it, tried to dank it off the glass, and it goes over the glass out of play. And the faceoff is coming outside the blue line of Montreal. 1:21 left in the penalty to Lafleur. And the Islanders down by 1 with a chance here playing 6 against 5 to get it back.
As far as penalty killing, the Montreal Canadiens were supreme this year. They killed 88% of the penalty power play situations they had to face, which made them the #1 penalty killing unit in the NHL. When you think of penalty killers, as you look at Jimmy Roberts, long time one of the best, you often think of the Buffalo Sabres, Gare, Luce, Ramsey, and of course not Gare, but Luce and Ramsey.
Loose puck inside the Montreal line, and Savard has it, and he turns back. He's a good stick-handling, mobile defenseman. Parise now for New York with 1:09 left in the penalty. Watched by Gainey, goes to Harris. Harris poke checked by Lapointe. Lapointe turning in another outstanding game. He was brilliant in Game 4. Price shoots it in, and Dryden has control of that up the boards for Guy Lapointe. Lapointe finds an opening and shoots it down into the Islander zone. We have 50 seconds left, and the Islanders are not mounting much of an attack here with the extra man. Gainey steps into Billy Harris, and they tie each other up inside the Islander end, and up the ice comes Dennis Potvin. Potvin with Billy. The crowd really giving Myers what for, because Gainey was knocked down by Harris after they waltzed together. Here's Harris to Trottier. Loose puck over the stick of Robinson. Robinson up for Gainey too far, but it goes down into the Islander zone, and the Montreal crowd as vociferous as I during these entire Stanley Cup playoffs. They're really hot at Myers. Debris being thrown on the ice, and Trottier is poke checked by Murray Wilson. There are programs all over the place. There's another puck on the ice. Finally, play is called. 10 seconds remaining in the penalty, and a pair of glasses is on the ice. Somebody threw sunglasses, a couple of pucks, a bunch of magazines. I have not seen this in the Forum in Montreal in years.
Tim, I'll tell you, Dennis Potvin has best better watch himself, because Bob Myers knows he's under heat. He was grabbing Myers to say, hey, we were in the middle of a rush. What are you stopping play for? Now Scotty Bowman is really, really furious. What happened was Gainey and Harris tied each other up.
The power play, and this crowd is really alive here. They've not had much to be alive about. Even though their team is ahead 2-1, it has not been a sparkling performance by the Stanley Cup champions. Robinson ahead for Guy Lapointe. Lapointe flips it in. Resch off the sideboards. Westfall can't get it out. It's blocked by Lemaire, and now Westfall on the second try knocks it to the Montreal line. 1:37 left in the penalty. A holding call to Howitt at 9:06. Canadians shoot it in, and Resch flipped it and nearly lost it to Steve Shutt, and Hart gets it down the ice through an opening near the blue line, and it's 1:20 left in the penalty.
The New York Islanders led the NHL, Tim, in shorthanded goals this year with 14. You would think this would be a chance for them to gamble. They might try to look for their gamble and go for it.
Robinson turned back by Westfall, and Robinson had to go back quickly to get it. There was nobody behind him. His pass, a bad one, and Westfall takes it away from Shutt. Guy Lafleur tries, and again, the Canadians really not looking very well at all here. This is Lemaire turned back to Robinson. Robinson for Lafleur, and that's broken up by Marshall, who fires it down the ice. 48 seconds left in the penalty.
Canadians had 1 shot on goal, or none in the first power play, 5 in the second, none in this, their third.
Havlich brings it up. Number 20 runs into his own man, Lapointe. Now to Lafleur, standing on the blue line. Offside is called.
Just on the right side. I mean, he's everywhere.
Risebrough, Tremblay, and Lambert, the forward line against Henning. Westfall up front with 25 seconds left now as the Islanders control and shoot it down, and it's brought out now by Serge Savard. Savard with Westfall checking. Westfall stops him. Risebrough will try to help him over the line and help him. Westfall wins the draw again, and Lewis flips it to center ice. 14 seconds remain in the penalty. Savard to Lambert. Lambert shooting it in, and it's taken by Dave Lewis, who bats it but not out, and went off the glove of Guy Lapointe into the Islander bench. 3 seconds left.
Oh, again. The Pirates brings it out. Roland Erickson. North Stars rushing everybody, shooting from outside the blue line. They'll stand him up at the blue line. Don't look for him for a lot of forechecking now. Bourne rushing out. A pair of North Stars are back. Bourne around O'Brien. Bourne around the other defenseman, but it's taken down. No penalty call. Potvin shot. Blocked in front. Henning looking. They're feeding into the crease. Bourne tied up with Lepresti. Puck is out to Lewis. Lewis to Hennig. To Bourne. It's loose in front. Still loose. Picked up by Eriksson. He shoots it out. Oh, mercy. You don't come no closer, folks, without putting it across. Lepresti didn't know where that puck was for about 6 seconds. Long pass for Howitt. Howitt beats Reed to the puck. No icing. Fair. And that's where he's played. He's played very effectively there as he's been able to really raise a little havoc with the Islander goaltender, be it Billy Smith or Chico Resch.
Islanders get the draw. Gillies shot out the leg of Lafleur, and Gillies gets away with dumping Lafleur. Here comes Steve Shutt. The shot saved by Resch. High dribbles on the rebound, and then he gloves it as it got away from him. That one caught Resch high on the chest.
Really got it. 60 goals from this spot. He fires them hard. He goes high, and that's a bullet that really stung Chico Resch. Then he very alertly covered up as Lafleur was coming in out of your screen on the right-hand side.
Gillies, again checking from Mahavlich to Hart. Marshall and Hart exchanging passes. Jerry Hart, number 2, off his skate. Mahavlich, big save, Resch. From point-blank range as the Islanders coughed it up, and Mahavlich had a clear shot. Resch beat him with a leg save. Chartrand inside the Montreal line. Left side feed for Robinson. Robinson rushes up over the Islander line. Checked by Hart. Throws it in front right through the crease out the stick of Mahavlich. McMillan dumps it out to center ice. Chartrand there gets his mates on side. Feeds to Mahavlich. Lafleur picks it up. Lafleur was shot breaking, and Marshall can't stop him. Another big stop. A loose puck cleared. And Resch made a brilliant save on Shutt. Shutt centers it. Broken up by Marshall. Shutt handed it right to Gillies, and Gillies dumps it out as Mahavlich centering between Lafleur and Shutt, which he has done only occasionally in this series, helping to keep the action in the Islander zone. Mahavlich flips it in again, and back for it comes Dave Lewis. Chico Resch came up mighty big for the New York Islanders. It's taken away from Parise by Jarvis. He gives it to Lapointe. Lapointe to Gainey. Gainey fakes a shot, then his shot is blocked by Dennis Potvin. Billy Harris, as the Islanders change on the move, gives it to Dave Lewis. Lewis's pass intended for Drouin too far. Savard to Jarvis, who shoots it in. Trottier comes on, replacing Drouin. Dennis Potvin to Trottier. Trottier to Harris. Harris on the right wing side, breaks on the pass for Trottier, too well covered by Roberts. He gets it to Parise. Parise behind the net in front, a loose puck cleared by Roberts, but not out. Lewis, the shot, broken up by Lapointe, who picked that out of midair with his stick. Gainey for Montreal, over center ice, dumps it in. Dennis Potvin knocks it down, and it's knocked down with a stick above the shoulder by an Islander. Play is called 6-0.
Off the puck. Eriksson. Lead pass, Jensen. Jensen ridden hard to the boards by Dennis Potvin. In front. Lewis picks up the puck. Jude Drouin brings it out. Stick check by Eriksson. Islanders come in offside. 8:21 to go. Time of the goal, 11 minutes. Steve Jensen, his 20th goal of the year. The North Stars now with 3 rookies in the 20-goal range. Steve Jensen, his 20th of the year from O'Brien. And let's see who we got here. And Eriksson. Jensen, number 20. Time of the goal, 11 minutes. The North Stars now lead by 4-2. Jerry Engel is back on the ice for the North Stars. Teamed up with Tom Reed. This is Engel. Gives it to Harris almost on a giveaway. Price tries to keep it in, cannot do it. Pat will have to wait for everybody to get on side. Good stick. Right, but then checked by Tom Reed. Engel takes the hit from Price. Trottier shoots it into Harris. Harris to Trottier. Lepresti way out to cover up. Plenty of action in the third period, and the Islanders are trailing it by a score of 4-2. Have not lost here since 1973.
George, the Islanders still doing a lot of hitting. Once again, Engel went back on his derriere, but the Islanders are going to have to work hard now. They only have 7:59 left in this hockey game, and they're trailing 4-2.
Brian Trottier, who broke his scoring slump last night, wins the face-off to Harris, to Price. Price has it stick checked away, but Marshall controls. Marshall waiting for everybody to get on side, loses in the process. Trottier battling with Salafis. This is Price to Trottier. Trottier tried to shoot.
What are you going to get?
It has been my feelings in it. The game has been played like the last 6 or 7 minutes of a one-goal game, but in the third period, as if you were in the third period.
Right from
all
the opening face-off.
Right, everybody playing for one face-off, one shot, one break, one advantage.
Risebrow against Saint-Laurent again, this time in the Montreal zone. Islanders win it. The shot, stick saved by Dryden on Marshall. Howitt against Risebrow, pair of eights over there. Nystrom gets into it with Robinson. Robinson up the boards for Lambert. Marshall cut that off. Lambert trying to keep it moving, and Islanders trying to get possession. Nystrom knocks it toward the Montreal net. Chartres in the corner. Howitt right on him. Good forechecking now by New York. Here's Nystrom with it, flipping to the corner as Howitt did the job. Howitt is hurt and getting up very slowly now. And it's a leg, obviously. He cannot stand up. Robinson turning back. Finally, Myers blows the whistle. And it came out of a routine kind of a pile-up over there that not unlike what happened to Dennis.
With Robinson.
There it is. You see how his leg got
right
twisted, George?
there.
By Chartres' skate.
Not Robinson, it was Chartres.
Yeah.
And he got his knee literally bent back under.
Not quite as noticeably as he did against Buffalo, but you're right. He's the heart of the team. He represents that grinded-out style. We've got McMillan with Saint-Laurent and Nystrom now. McMillan in Howitt's spot. Polic, Mahavlich, and Murray Wilson the line for Montreal. 4:17 remaining in the second period. Hart for Nystrom. Nystrom steering it in. Mahavlich shooting it over the line. No, not over the line. Saint-Laurent kept it in. Robinson stick handling away from McMillan, and Saint-Laurent tied up Wilson, and Chartres gets over the line and shoots it in. Takes a bump from Bill McMillan. So the Islanders now will have difficulty getting the four-line combination they want. Centering pass, loose in front. Hart covered Wilson before he could make a play. Mahavlich's pass blocked by Bert Marshall. Marshall ties him up. Marshall playing with a knee injury himself, wearing a brace. Wilson trying to get loose. They all whack at it. Finally, Saint-Laurent, then he fans on the pass. Polic keeps it in. Resch gives it to Jerry Hart. Hart up the boards for Nystrom, and Nystrom's got some skating room. Overskates the puck. Nystrom goes back to Marshall. Marshall for Billy McMillan. McMillan for Drouin. Drouin had to turn back to control the puck. And Jules Drouin comes over center ice, is elbowed by Chartres. Got away with that one. Myers simply didn't see it. Chartres has the puck inside his blue line. It goes to Robinson. Robinson to Polic. Mike Polic flips it in. It's knocked down by Hart. Hart for Gillies. Gillies fires it into the Montreal zone, and Ken Dryden cuts that off. And Gillies collides with Robinson. Lapointe one hands the pass to Guy Lafleur. Cross-ice pass taken off the boards by Lemaire. Tried to hit shut with a blind pass. It goes deep into the Islander zone. Lewis, tied up by Lafleur momentarily, gets the puck again to Westfall. Westfall for Gillies. Gillies the shot, and that's wide, not by much. Westfall in the corner for Drouin. Return pass deflected by Guy Lafleur. In front of the Montreal bench, Dennis Potvin. Potvin to Lewis. Lewis for Gillies, and Gillies turns and fires it in. Dryden holds it up for Robinson. Robinson up the boards to Steve Shutt. Shutt digs it out of his skates. Out for Guy Lafleur. Lafleur over the line for Lemaire. Potvin breaks that up. And it's Jules Drouin taking over. Behind his own net to Lewis. Drouin, Gillies, and Westfall, the line for New York. Lemaire intercepts, tries to start Lafleur in, and Lewis gets back ahead of him. Gillies, rink wide for Westfall. 1:55 left in the second period. Jules Drouin for Potvin. Potvin throws it in to score! Dennis Potvin trying to center the... Feeds it on the right wing side. The pass comes into Potvin. Potvin waits for Robinson to go down, not Robinson, Lapointe. And then as he tried to center it to Westfall, it went in off the skates of goaltender Ken Dryden. Jules Drouin feeds Potvin. Potvin watches Lapointe go down. He's in deep. He tries to center for Westfall, and Dryden didn't see it coming, and the puck went right off his skates behind him. We're tied at 2 with 1:49 left in the second period. Drouin and Westfall get the assists at 18:11 of this second period. Here's Roberts, and Hart broke up the pass before it arrived from Jarvis, Roberts, and Gainey now against Trottier, Harris, and J.P. Parise. Bert Marshall out of the Islander zone. Number 6 for Parise, and it's offside at the Montreal blue line. We're down. Off goaltender Dryden, it went. So kind of a fluky goal for the Islanders, a mistake by Ken Dryden, and they're tied at 2. Robinson stopped by Harris. Harris takes it away. Harris loses it to Gainey. Gainey lets fly off the stick of Hart wide. Rebound to Jarvis. Jarvis throws it into the corner. Hart up the boards for Harris. Hart and Harris could not get it out, but Robinson lost control, and Trottier steals to Parise. Parise the shot. Glove save by Dryden, and he hangs on to that one with Harris in on top of him, covered by Larry Robinson. 51 seconds remaining. George Michael will be talking with Nova Scotia Voyageurs goaltender Ed Waltz, property of the Montreal Canadiens, and the Voyageurs, fresh from their triumph in the American Hockey League playoffs, have a number of their players up here with the big club for these final Stanley Cup games. Philadelphia in 4 straight games, and a most impressive series by the Bruins, and a most impressive finish Sunday night. The shot by Lewis just deflected wide, and Mahavlich falls. Saint Laurent has it. Saint Laurent tried to get it to McMillan, broken up by Robinson. Robinson from Roberts comes up. Robinson trying to get around Dave Lewis, and Lewis plays him perfectly. The puck to the corner. Dennis Potvin checked by Robinson, then by Roberts, and McMillan has it. McMillan tries a rink-wide pass. Nystrom has it, but then loses to Lemaire. 24 seconds left in the period. Canadians shooting it in, and Dennis Potvin brings it up. Potvin over the blue line. The shot! Stick save by Dryden, and that was a blast by Dennis Potvin. McMillan with 10 seconds remaining. Off the boards to center ice. LaPointe brings it back in, just flips it in. A bouncer handled by Resch. Lewis with the rebound feeds it to McMillan. 2 seconds left. McMillan at center ice, and the siren sounds, ending the second period of play.
Trottier, Tim Ryan.
Thank you, George, and the Canadians win this face-off. It is a 2-2 hockey game, and this should be a most interesting period of play because it's been a rather strange game. Lambert dives in there, and the Canadians come out storming. The pass to the blue line. Savard's shot is blocked, and Trottier breaks out. Trottier to Harris. Parise coming. Harris. The shot, and he shot it just wide on the short side. Risebrow gets it out over the line to Lambert, and Risebrow now picks it up and leaves it for Tremblay. Tremblay fakes the shot, then takes it wide, and it comes all the way out near the Islander blue line. Trottier knocks it to center ice, and Harris knocked Risebrow flying as they collided, and LaPointe shoots it in over the stick of Jerry Hart. Resch clears it up the boards for Bill Harris. Glenn Resch for the Islanders, Ken Dryden for the Canadians in goal. And Jarvis goes back to Chartrand. Chartrand shoots it in. Resch holds it up there for Jerry Hart. Hart up for Harris. Harris gets away from Gainey. Harris comes out with Trottier, 3-on-3. Long shot by Trottier, comes all the way out to Chartrand. Chartrand banks it off the boards to Jarvis. Jarvis gives it to Robinson. Robinson shoots it off the corner board. Resch handles that. Resch shoots it away from Bob Gainey. Bill Harris hits his own man Trottier. Trottier digs it out. Trottier trying to get it all the way through to Parise, and Chartrand stopped that. He flipped it over the Islander line. Lewis got it out, and Roberts brought it in offside.
With 18:30 Saturday night when he gave up a couple of questionable goals. But I think at this point in time, it's fair to say that Chico Resch has been absolutely superb. We've credited him with 9 tough saves thus far on the night. Ken Dryden with 4.
Drouin got the draw back deep, and Resch leaves it for Potvin to Drouin. Drouin stick handling, right side feed for Westfall. Westfall intended for Gillies, too far. Gillies races after it. Gillies and Chartrand. The puck loose, poked away by Robinson just as Westfall arrived. Drouin has it to Westfall, jumps over his stick. Chartrand goes to the corner. Gillies meets him there with a bump. Chartrand comes off with the puck. Chartrand lost it to Drouin. Drouin has it. Drouin fakes the shot, throws it all the way across in front, nobody there. And it's dumped out to center ice. Guy Lafleur picked it off. Catching up with it inside the Islander line. Lafleur breaks on. Is checked, and the puck taken away by Lewis. His pass too far for Gillies. At center ice, Chartrand with Gillies on his tail. Dumps it back, and Lewis overskates it. The puck's still loose. Drouin picks it up. Number 17 for the Islanders, with Westfall going in after the loose puck, and it's Guy Lafleur steering it out over the blue line of Montreal. New York changing on the move, and Jerry Hart gives it to Bert Marshall. Marshall for Jerry Hart. Hart brings it up, intended for Howitt, too far. Howitt is back out there. Nystrom for Howitt, the shot! Saved by Ken Dryden on Howitt. Perfect feed from Nystrom. And Robinson takes it away behind the net, and the Islanders, here's Lafleur right back the other way, and Hart knocked the stick right out of his hands. Nystrom steps into Robinson. Nystrom got the puck away, but Schutt stole it from him. Steve Schutt, number 22, on the backhand, the shot! A stick saved by Resch on a hot drive on the backhand from Schutt. Nystrom gives it to Hart. Hart's checked by Lemaire. Lemaire centers it. Nystrom steers that aside to Marshall. Marshall to Saint-Laurent. He overskates it, now pokes it up the board. Robinson to Polic. Polic just left it for Mahavlich, who took it away from him. Mahavlich can't get the shot as he's tied up and knocked down by Hart. And Mahavlich is hurt. Mahavlich gets up slowly. And Marshall gives it to Jerry Hart. Mahavlich goes out slowly to the Montreal bench as play carries on. Marshall is bumped by Polic, and Wilson has it. Wilson behind the Islander goal is checked by Hart, but keeps on going. He gives it to Savard, a backhander wide. And play has really opened up here in the third period. Tremblay keeps it in. And Nystrom for the Islanders shoots it down to the Montreal blue line. 16-11 remaining regulation time. We're tied at 2. Wilson backhands it in and takes a bump there from Howitt. And Hart takes over. Howitt will get a penalty for his work on Wilson over on the far board.
Well, he's Mahavlich and Hart. Hart sends Mahavlich down right there. You'll notice he got away with a stick behind him. Mahavlich went off to the bench and was booed mildly by the fans. Back the other way, Murray Wilson and Gary Howitt. Howitt takes Wilson in, gives him an extra pretty good hit. Wilson brings the stick down, and Bob Myers called them both. They both go off coincidental minors. Time of the penalty, Tim.
3:56, and Wilson for high sticking, Howitt for roughing, and I would say it's a little bit questionable on Wilson in that circumstance. Here's Jarvis, overskates the puck. I thought Howitt was going to get the only penalty and would have deserved it. That one wide from Guy Lapointe, but they're 5 aside now. 4 skaters each, and this is Jarvis across to Lapointe. Lapointe, the shot, blocked by Dave Lewis, and it's knocked out to center ice by McMillan. McMillan 11 and Henning 10 up front against Jarvis 21 and Gainey 23. Lapointe and Savard on the Montreal defense. Dennis Potvin, Dave Lewis for the Islanders. Jarvis drops it back for Serge Savard. 1:24 remaining in the twin penalties. Savard gives it to Gainey. Offside is called against Montreal, and they have had an inordinate number of those. They are just not sharp tonight.
He does a job of settling the defense. As you look on at a very anxious Al Arbor, all tied 2-2, and don't you know that Guy Lafleur is out there. This is his kind of rink. Lots of skating room.
Peter Mahavlich has gone to the Montreal dressing room, but was not limping very noticeably, and we expected he'll probably come back. It was hard to say what happened with him. He just got kind of spun around and may just have twisted his leg or his knee. Savard, as Montreal controls it, shoots it in. 1:11 left in the twin penalties. Resch comes out, gets help from Dennis Potvin. Potvin starts out of his own end, now gives it to Brian Trottier. Trottier and Harris are now up front for New York. The pass for Harris just missed. Lapointe has it. Lapointe has just been outstanding in this series, and again here tonight. Lewis took it away. Lewis in the corner, bumped by Savard. Savard goes behind his own net with it. Lafleur and Lemaire up front for the Canadiens as Serge Savard comes to center ice. 43 seconds left in the penalty. Savard around Dennis Potvin. Now Potvin gets there to cut him off. Savard backhand pass for Chartrand, jumped over his stick as he was checked by Dave Lewis. Billy Harris trying to get loose. Lafleur centers it, and that one off the stick of Resch, and a very similar play to Dennis Potvin's goal, although it appeared, George, that that puck would have been outside the post had it rebounded back off Glenn's stick,
outside,
but it was close.
but awful close.
Very
on
close.
the goal line, in just to the left of it. There's the young man that put the shot on goal. He's been playing defense. He also has seen a lot of activity on wing. Rick Chartrand. You're looking into the face-off circle from behind Brian Trottier into the eyes of Jacques Lemaire.
Trottier and Jacques Lemaire, and Billy Harris takes over. We have 23 seconds remaining in the penalties to Howitt and Wilson. Chartrand stops Trottier from going anywhere, and Hart to Marshall. Marshall, and pass picked off by the speedy Lafleur, is shot wide. And the puck has gone out of the rink, and nobody realized it for a couple of seconds. Whistle.
Roaring tonight. Instead, they played almost a conservative type of hockey. They did get 4 opportunities early in the first 3, which they were not able to capitalize on.
Well, now you have a situation, it's 2-2 late in the game. You almost have to go back toward the careful style of play, hope that you get the one goal and make it stand up. But it has been a very strange kind of a hockey game. There's no getting around that. Drouin against Lemaire. Gillies back to Hart. And Hart's pass intended for Gillies well off the mark. The penalties are over. Howitt and Wilson back on, an icing called against the face-off to the left of Glenn Resch in the Islander zone. The team's back at full strength, and Lemaire controls Chartrand's bouncing puck shot, caught by Resch. Hart checked by Lafleur. Marshall is there. Marshall to Gillies. Gillies gets it to Drouin. Near steal by Chartrand. Drouin away from Steve Shutt. Robinson comes over. The pass for Westfall. Can't quite get there. Good effort by Jules Drouin. And Lafleur takes it away. Robinson has it. Myers, the referee, caught in a sandwich, and the fans love that. Gillies nearly stole it. Shutt goes over to Chartrand. Steal by Drouin. Drouin brings it in. Knocked down by Robinson as he made his pivot, and Robinson takes it away, and now is turned back by Drouin. Larry Robinson slowly to center ice. Now a long shot handled by Resch. Jerry Hart for the Islanders, up for Westfall. Robinson, the shot, that's wide. Behind the goal, it's poked away from Lafleur by Resch. Lafleur just has that dazzling speed. He comes from nowhere to get his stick on the puck. Steve Shutt, stopped by Jerry Hart. Hart out for Westfall. Westfall over center ice. Poke check by Larry Robinson. All the way to Guy Lafleur. To Jacques Lemaire. Lemaire the drive. An arm save by Resch. Started to chase the rebound, but Westfall is there in the corner. Westfall gets it to Hart. Hart tried to feed it to Saint Laurent. Went off the stick over the glass and out of play. We're down to 12:37. Tremblay gets it to Guy Lapointe. Lapointe the shot. Caught by Resch.
Now let's count up the shots on goal.
Yeah, we had 6 in the first period for the Islanders. We had 7 credited to the Islanders in the second period, and there are 14 on the board now. So,
but the point that I make is that the Islanders have not managed to put pressure on Ken Dryden, but there has not been severe pressure on Resch except for 2 occasions.
Nystrom tried to get it to Saint Laurent. Risebrough got a piece of it, and a good play by Risebrough back to Lapointe. Lewis ties up Tremblay right at center ice, and McMillan trying to get started. Lewis whacks at it. Here's Lambert to Tremblay. The shot by Tremblay, caught by Resch, and he smothers that rebound as the puck popped out of his glove. Lambert right on top of him.
Guy Lafleur of the Canadiens, as you're probably well aware, has an incredible scoring streak. He's now gone 36 consecutive games. He does not yet have a point, though, or a point in this game tonight. 36 games in which he has scored either a goal or an assist. The last time that he did not score was January the 30th, when the Islanders were in town. Billy Smith was in goal that night, and the Canadiens defeated the Islanders that night 2-1.
We just got our shots straightened out. It was 8-7 New York in the second period, and so the Islanders do not yet have a shot in this period. Here's Saint Laurent over the blue line. Into the corner, Savard on him. And Risebrough pries it loose, and out comes Serge Savard. Savard for Tremblay. Tremblay forced wide by Lewis, who takes him into the boards heavily, and McMillan goes for the puck in the corner. Up the boards to Nystrom. Nystrom can't get past Savard, and now he ties up Savard. Lambert is checked by Dennis Potvin. And Saint Laurent gets into the play, and Bob Nystrom just continues to struggle, George. It is really a sad thing because nobody wants to do more for you, but can't get it on. 11:38 remaining third period. We are still tied. The NHL Network will televise every game of the Stanley Cup Finals, remember, at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we'll have a game for you Saturday night on these NHL Network stations, regardless of whether it's semifinal here or final. Here's a 2-on-1. Harris and Parise. With Chartrand back to score. A shot is wide from Parise, who was in on Dryden and shot it wide on the feed from Harris. Harris gets it back again. Parise again the shot, and that's deflected wide by Doug Jarvis. Good back checking. And it is Robinson now out for Gainey. Ahead for Jarvis. He couldn't handle it. Potvin to Harris. Harris to Hart. And Billy Harris made 2 consecutive good plays. Parise, a little anxious, shot it wide. Jarvis dumps it in. Gainey goes after it. Resch leaves it for Bert Marshall. Robinson dumps it in, and Marshall Pass deflected by Roberts. He takes him out of the play neatly, and Trottier out the open wing side. Chartraw there ahead of Parise. Lost it to Trottier, one-on-one against Robinson. Trottier trying to break through, can't do it as Robinson neatly takes it away from him. He's checked by Harris. Penalty coming to Harris as Parise got the puck. It'll be a holding penalty to Billy Harris, 10.
The big break of the period comes right here as Billy Harris wraps his arms around the giant Larry Robinson. Robinson to the ice. Canadians come up with a power play. Will be their fourth power play opportunity of the night. They've had but one power play goal in these playoffs since the playoffs began against the Islanders. And Tim, it's 1 of 17 now, and you know that eventually you're going to get burned by this power play unit, which was number 2 overall through the year, and they scored 1 out of every 4 times.
Lemaire shut Mahavlich, Lafleur, and Guy Lapointe, and Lewis misses it momentarily, but now backhands it in, and the Islanders got the all-important first face-off. We're down to 150. Harris for holding at 9:23. Shut for Mahavlich off the boards. Mahavlich is in. He hit the side of the net. Centering try by Shutt. Lemaire trying to get the shot. That hit the side of the net, and it's smothered now by Glenn Resch. 1:36 remaining in the penalty.
Taking a look into the Islander bench, Jerry Hart, Bert Marshall behind him. This is Peter Mahavlich, who comes as close as you can come without bringing it home. Around the defense, the shot hits the pipe right there. Goes away from Resch and away from Mahavlich. Mahavlich hits the post. 10:13 to go, 2-2 hockey game.
Resch had that corner well covered on that play, and then again on the next one. He would not give up the post to Mahavlich, who tried to beat him on that short side. It is Lemaire, Shutt, Mahavlich along the front, Lafleur and Lapointe on the points. Lafleur's shot hit Westfall, and that hurt Westfall, and he stays on the ice. Henning brings it in, one-on-one now against Lapointe. Henning still with it. Here comes Westfall, and it's broken up by Lafleur. Lafleur races back. He's got Shutt and Mahavlich with him. Mahavlich into the slot. Glenn Resch.
You know, I was asking Pierre Bouchard why they boo Mahavlich so here, and he said, well, he said it's kind of easy to figure out. He said Peter makes it look so easy that when he doesn't score all the time, they just get on him. They expect big things of him.
Resch starts after the loose puck and thinks otherwise. Lambert controls, but his pass from Mahavlich too far. Robinson in deep, checked by Westfall. Lafleur has it. His pass blocked by Lewis. Lewis doing a great job here during this penalty. Lewis has it now, trying to get it out. It's knocked down by Robinson. His shot, a spinning puck, is blocked by Dennis Potvin. Robinson hand passes it in, but is taken by Henning. 50 seconds left. Henning's pass picked off by Lafleur. Lafleur falls, and the loose puck knocked into the Montreal zone. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty to Harris. Back forward is Robinson. 2-2 the score. Henning breaks that play up at center ice. Good work by Lorne Henning. Guy Lafleur. Jacques Lemaire, number 25. The shot, stick save by Resch on a bullet from Lemaire, who can really shoot it. Lambert flips behind the net. Westfall intercepts. Westfall, good pass for Potvin. Can't hold it, though. It's loose, and Westfall's got lots of room and shoots it down the ice. 14 seconds left, and Henning and Westfall were out there for nearly that whole penalty. In fact, Henning stays on. Gillies comes on for Westfall. 5 seconds left as Lafleur brings it in. Over the line, the Canadians standing there. Risebrow to Savard. The shot blocked by Gillies. It's loose. Lafleur can't get the shot away. The penalty is over. Harris is on. Lafleur is stopped by the skate of Jerry Hart. Lafleur and Gillies go down. Lafleur is bumped by Marshall. Robinson to score. There. On the shot by Larry Robinson. Yvonne Lambert.
First point off, no, take another look. Robinson hits it hard. Lambert in perfect position for the tip. He changes the direction of the puck, comes in on the short side. Chico Resch commits long to the left side. Watch it again from upstairs. The perfect deflection right there. A matter of a foot in which to get it in. Lambert puts it in, and the Canadians take a 3-2 lead, his first playoff goal.
George, you got to really be sympathetic with the Islander penalty killing unit. They did an outstanding job, and after the penalty was over, the goal is scored, and they were just literally outstanding against Montreal during the power play chance, and indeed against all of the others in this game, 3 in number. Here come the Islanders right back. The shot by Drouin. That's broken up by Robinson with Gillies standing on the doorstep. Marshall steals. Marshall flips it in front. Broken up by Savard.
and Jarvis brings it out. This has been a much more wide-open third period. Gainey takes a shot from Jean Potvin. Hart and Jarvis in the corner. Loose puck by Drouin. Drouin to Jean Potvin. Bangs it off the boards, but not out. Robinson down to Jarvis. He lost it. And now this time, Jean Potvin bangs it off the boards into the Montreal zone on the goal. Dryden holds it up for Savard. Time now a very big factor for the New York Islanders. 7:35 remaining third period. Yvon Lambert's go-ahead goal has it 3-2 Montreal. Potvin feeds Drouin. Here's a steal. Here's Gainey in alone. Gainey. Oh, and a save by Resch on Gainey. Gainey trying to center his block. Still has it. And Resch keeps the Islanders alive. Parise ties up Gainey. Drouin checked by Roberts. Dennis Potvin has it. Potvin to Harris, who can't get it out. Robinson, a force at that blue line, keeps it in. Resch out of the goal, knocks it away from Jarvis. And it's Drouin. Out to J.P. Parise, who leaves it for Lewis, who gets it to Drouin. The Canadiens change on the fly. Drouin stick handling. Drouin, the shot, and that's deflected in. Score! It's tied at 3. Drouin's shot.
Drouin, they'd like to close it up tonight. What will happen? Well, Brian Trottier faces off with Jacques Lemaire. Overtime. Fifth game of the Stanley Cup. Tim Ryan.
Interesting, Scotty Bowman has started his big gun line against the Trottier unit and making Al Arbor have his big line out there. He wants to get this one quick. Here's Schutt trying to get control. It's over his stick. And it is Resch clearing to Trottier. Trottier dumps it. There's a race for it. Harris and Robinson deep in the corner. Harris is checked by Robinson, who has the puck. Robinson gives it to Steve Schutt on the left wing side. Schutt comes up. He's got Lapointe ahead of him. He gives it to number 5 over the line to Guy Lafleur. Lafleur looking for the open man. Takes the shot wide. Oh, boy, he could hit that wrist shot. Lemaire's shot, that breaks up through the traffic and goes wide. Lafleur throws it in front, broken up by Trottier, gives it to Harris. Harris, a pass intended for Parise, is intercepted by Lafleur, who goes quickly back with Robinson. Robinson, the shot well wide. It comes out near the blue line. Lafleur dumps it in the corner. Lemaire in the corner centers it. Comes all the way to Robinson, the shot. Stick save. Rebound cleared by Trottier. Trottier stick handling. Lost it. Here comes Lafleur giving it to Lemaire. Schutt trying to make the turn. It's loose. Robinson, a high shot off the glass. It falls on the back of the net. Lafleur keeps it alive. And Harris banks it down the ice to take that pressure off as the Canadiens did what they wanted to do. Boy, sorry, Coach Scotty Bowman, Public Relations Director Claude Mouton, for the Islanders General Manager Bill Torrey, Coach Al Arbor, our ace statistician Holly T. Chester III, Public Relations Director, and Jim Bucata. Here's a loose puck in front, and a shot wide by Gainey as Roberts had the feed. And lots of time to make the pass to Gainey. Jarvis and Drouin battle for it. Roberts knocks it down the boards, and it's held there by Lewis and Roberts. And we have 18:24 to go.
In overtime, scoreless. Tim, the observation that I made between the periods was, I think, very accurate in that the Canadiens just come out freewheeling, loaded for bear, going wide open, full tilt. The Islanders getting caught, more or less, in their own end, saying, oh, how are we going to get out of here?
Now the checking line of the Canadiens out there against Drouin, Gillies, and Westfall. And a scramble for it. It's knocked out by Jarvis, and Gillies racing after with Guy Lapointe. Lapointe gets there and backhands it away. Drouin trying to control it, knocked it over the line, and Dennis Potvin has to cut off Jim Roberts. And Dennis Potvin to Westfall. Westfall for Gillies. Gillies out the end of his stick. Goes into the corner with Lapointe. Roberts slaps it out to the blue line. Jarvis overskates it, and Savard picks it up. Serge Savard into the Islander zone. The pass intended for Gainey, too hard and far. Gainey gets it away from Resch, centers it. Drouin breaks it up. Gainey again to Tremblay. He takes a weak shot, handled by Potvin. Potvin to Gillies, who steers it out. Hart broke the stick on the play. The puck comes into the Montreal zone. Sudden death overtime. Serge Savard. Chartrand intended for Risebrow, too far. The Canadiens changing on the fly. An offside call against New York at the Montreal line.
17-27, and the Islanders have yet to get that good shot on goal in this overtime.
28-18 for Montreal in the shots department. They have won here in the overtime, and the face-offs have been interesting. Canadiens dominated the first period. Then the Islanders won 15 against 12 by Montreal in the second period, and they had 11 each in the third period. Each team scored once in each period of play. Some rather strange goals in a rather strange game.
Robinson knocks it over the line. Riseborough after it. Marshall gets it out. Lambert has to get Riseborough onside. The puck kicked loose, and Marshall gives it to Jerry Hart. We've got Saint Laurent, McMillan, and Nystrom now. The pass for Saint Laurent. Saint Laurent drops to Marshall. Shot is wide, and after it is Tremblay for Montreal, who comes swarming down the right side. Hart waiting for him. Tremblay forced to the corner, taken into the end boards. Lambert is checked by Nystrom and Hart. Hart has the puck. Hart up the boards for McMillan, and Chartrand ties him up. Riseborough digs it out. Riseborough watched by Hart. McMillan gets it out of the Islander zone, and the best the Islanders have been able to do is get the puck out of their territory. They've not had an offensive thrust. Tremblay touches that icing will be called against the Islanders. Right. Eastern time. It could be indeed in this playoff unless Montreal wins here tonight or on Thursday night at the Nassau Coliseum if that game is necessary. And it could be a final round game, and the NHL Network will carry every game of the final round on most of these same stations, and game time will be 8 p.m.
We do not have with us, Tim, as you look at Leon Stickle and Gerard Gauthier do a little work on the ice where it got roughed up there. How many games the Canadiens have been involved in overtime or whatnot, but you remember they have not lost here in 38 games. It's been a long time.
Mahavlich against Westfall, every face-off critical in these corners. Westfall wins it. Dave Lewis, who's been outstanding tonight for the Islanders, gets it to Dennis Potvin. Potvin up the boards for Harris, a little too far, but Westfall slapped it off the leg of Savard. We've got Mahavlich with Guy Lafleur and Steve Schutt. Guy Lapointe and Serge Savard. A lot of firepower out there again. And they were just off one shift before Bowman had the two wingers, the big guys, out there, but icing is called against Montreal. Kind of interesting strategy. He started that line against the Trottier unit, and then he had...
And Chico's team won that one by a score. They lost 2-1. Lost 2-1. Double overtime it was.
Trottier against Mahavlich on this faceoff. And Mahavlich wins it to Lafleur, but he can't get it out. Lewis, a shot! It's a post score! Billy Harris! Billy Harris has scored in overtime. They've gone quickly to their dressing room. There will be a game 6 at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. And the New York Islanders have defeated the Montreal Canadiens in overtime by a score of 4-3, and will return after these messages from...